Mr. President, it's Valentine's Day, and Senate Republicans and President Trump want to deliver a love letter to their sweetheart, the National Rifle Association. To the Republicans and President Trump, nothing says I love you let's weaken background checks on gun sales, because that's exactly the issue before us today. Today, Republicans in Congress and President Trump want to gut a common sense safety measure that would help keep guns out of the hands of people who should not have them. After the tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut, the Obama administration undertook a comprehensive review of federal law to identify, quote, potentially dangerous individuals who should not be trusted with firearms. The Social Security Administration was required to identify and report to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System those people who receive Social Security benefits due to severe mental impairment and who require a fiduciary representative to manage those benefits. That is a sensible policy. If you can't manage your disability benefits because of a mental impairment, you probably shouldn't be trying to manage a gun. Indeed, current law prohibits individuals from purchasing a firearm if a court, a board, a commission, or other lawful authority has determined that a mental health issue makes them a danger to themselves or to others, or that they lack the mental capacity to contract or manage their own affairs. So, the purpose of the rule is simply to include in the federal background check system information about the Social Security Administration that it already has about beneficiaries who current law already prohibits from possessing a firearm. But even this fair, reasonable, and common sense limitation on gun purchasing is too much for the NRA and its Republican congressional allies. So they have turned this afternoon to the Congressional Review Act to roll back this rule. And by doing so, they would block the Social Security Administration from issuing a similar rule on this subject in the future. So this is short-sighted on the one hand and very dangerous on the other for a long, long time in our country, because it's these loopholes in the background check system that have already allowed people to obtain guns despite being judged a danger to themselves or to others, especially family members. Loopholes in the system allowed the Virginia Tech, Tucson, Aurora, and Newtown shooters to obtain guns. We need to close loopholes like the ones that allow people who are mentally impaired from buying guns. Repealing this rule only keeps the loophole open. Recent polls show that 92% of Americans support background checks for all gun buyers, including 87% of Republicans in our country support background checks on who is, in fact, purchasing a gun in our country. But not the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association sent an action alert to its membership on this current attempt to repeal the background check rule, stating, quote, the first pro-gun legislative act of the Trump era and Congress is on the verge of success, but it needs our help to get it over the line. That's all you need to know. So on this Valentine's Day, the United States Senate should show some real love and compassion. Let's open our hearts to the American people who overwhelmingly are demanding common sense gun control efforts like the one this rule puts in place. Let's defeat this ill-advised effort to roll back a rule which keeps guns out of the hands of people who should not have them. This is really the job of the Congress. This is the carnage that we see in America. It's the indiscriminate issuing of licenses for guns to people who have not gone through the background checks that ensure that they are qualified for the handling of a weapon within our society. Everyone else can get the weapon. Everyone else who goes through the check gets the weapon, but not people who should not have them. So this is a big moment here. It unfortunately gives an insight into what the Republican agenda is going to be this year. It's a radical agenda. It's an agenda which says to the National Rifle Association, we are going to pass your agenda no matter how radical out here on the floor of the Senate. What the American people are saying is that they want NRA to stand for not relevant anymore in American politics. That's what they want us to be saying, especially with the polling so overwhelmingly bipartisan, Democrat and Republican, in terms of common sense background checks that are in the law to protect innocent families in our country. So all I can say is this isn't anything that's radical, this regulation. It's something that's common sense. It's something that protects American families. And I urge strongly that the United States Senate reject the removal of this regulation from the statutes of our country. And I yield back, Mr. President, the balance of my time.